Hey folks, Cody here, former student of ETSU's Bluegrass and Old Time Country Music program. In this lesson, I'm going to give you several takeaways from this break that I played to the Crawdad song. I'm not going to go note for note, but we are going to look at some patterns and some different key slides and things that you can integrate into your bluegrass playing. We're in the key of G today, and the first bit here that I'm playing is what I refer to as like a drone phrase, or it's not even really a lick. But what I'm doing here is I'm sliding into my root note G there on the 3rd fret of the D string, all right? You can also play this with your ring finger. I tend to find it easier to play with my middle finger. But you can think of a drone note as having a note ring out sort of over the entire phrase, which is what we're doing with our open G string, right? What's important here is not that you play it exactly like I play it, it's just that you understand what's happening. And in bluegrass, we use this to fill space, all right? Now that you see this slide, you can also do it from the 3rd fret. You can even do it from the 4th fret, and we're gonna use that as a hammer on here in just a second. But what we're doing is filling up space. Bluegrass is a very note-filled style of music, and so the more space we can fill up with notes, the better, okay? And you'll see this on videos. Watch some of the Speed Demons. They'll play this really quickly as they're going from lick to lick, sort of between phrases, and that's how I start the first part. Okay, the next part is also an important slide, and I'm going from the 2nd fret to the 4th fret on the G string. All right, and you can go either direction. You can even put your pointer finger down and slide with it on the B string there. Put it down a fret behind, rather. Okay? When we speak of bluegrass flair, as I call it, or what I say in my paid course, Flatpick Foundations, bluegrass real estate, there's a couple of special notes or special intervals that we use that really bring out that bluegrass sound, okay? Now, when I make that slide, we are traveling over one of those special notes. This is a B flat note. You'll hear it referred to as a flattened 3rd or a minor 3rd. There's also one on the 1st fret of our A string, and of course, you hear that familiar run there, and that's utilizing that a slide over that B flat note, okay? So we're also sliding, and we get an ever so slight twang when we do so. And that's what I do at the beginning there. All right, as I'm just trying to pick out the melody here. Spoiler alert, this wasn't a perfect break. I definitely should have stayed truer to the melody, but there's a lot we can take away from it either way. All right, and if I was coming from like a G chord, for the next part, I want to just throw up a quick tab here. All right, in the video, I'm kind of, finding that melody, or trying to, and I'm playing around on the 2nd frets of the D and the G strings, okay? So for this exercise, I just want to throw up this series of notes, and it's a great bit to just practice. It's a great bit to just know, because this is gonna pop up in so many different variations when you're learning bluegrass guitar or practicing, or whatever it might be. You're gonna see tabs that look absolutely crazy like you see above, and they're gonna be 16 measures long. And really, just kind of picture this from a G chord, either G chord. Okay? Try your best to go down up on your picking pattern. All right? Slowly as you have to go, trying to make all those notes sound clean, and that's really going to help your fingers kind of get into that space on the 2nd fret. By the way, guys, if you like the on-screen tabs, just like I showed you there, check out Flatpick Foundations. It's made for the guitarists that never thought they could learn how to play bluegrass because you watch it online, it's really, really quick and looks impossible. There's 100 beginner-friendly lessons and growing inside of the paid course. There's more information down below. There's lots of students. You can see some testimonials right here from all over the world, getting great value, finally learning how to play this style, and it's priced in a way that's basically going to be what it costs to do a month of lessons. So check it out down below. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so for the next part, I want to talk about, again, I perform that slide. I do that in several different variations. Go back and watch the video. But then I get into what I'm going to call into sliding into new home bases, all right? Because in bluegrass, a lot happens on the first, second, and third fret with like our basic chords going into the fourth fret. But then we slide, all right? And then we're sort of in this new area here, this new position. Now, the way my brain works, if I had an electric guitar in my hands, I'm just kind of playing like blues, stuff here. But think of these 3 frets here as just a whole lot happening, all right? Even right there, that's how we'd kick off a bluegrass song, okay? All right, so I've got that slide from the 2nd to the 4th fret that we learned earlier, and then I've got my index finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, that's a D note, and then I'm right here in this sort of new area, okay? And I've got the 3rd right there, that flattened or minor 3rd that I told you about earlier, right there above it. Let me actually play a clip or a lick that utilizes the slide plus like a quick pull off on the from the 3rd to the 4th fret, which is very common in bluegrass music. So what I recommend doing, very important, is just experiment right here with all the notes, okay? Because that's very crucial in learning how to play this style of music, because you're not just training your wrist and your arm and your fingers and everything else, you're also training your ear to know how these intervals, what we call when we're talking distance between notes and then how far we go up the neck, how those sound, all right? And a big part of doing that is just sitting here and plucking, all right? It's kind of difficult to get away from that, but now that you know how some of these movements work, it's up to you to practice and then just experiment, get things wrong, right? It's not gonna be right every time. It's a struggle sometimes to play these breaks nice and clean, and you're gonna learn the best if you're just kind of playing, making mistakes. All right, I want to show you a pattern. I slide into a new position here, and what I'm doing is I'm hammering on with my index finger on the 7th fret, right, into the 8th fret on the B string, and I've got my index finger on the 6th fret of that high E string, and there's my flattened 3rd, that special note that I've referenced that's in that G run, right there it is. So I'm going to hammer on a downstroke, and then I'm coming back up and hitting that flattened 3rd, 6th fret of your high E string. Just like that. Putting more pressure on that index finger, these fingers kind of hang loose. Right, and that's some bluegrass flair there. You can really kind of hang out there. And then think of that exact same finger movement and then move it down to where you're hammering on 2nd fret of the B string. And we're letting that F note there, 1st fret of our E string, kind of become the focal point. Not exactly in like the major scale, but we can use that F note, certainly. It's like a passing tone. And this is more important than learning how to play and getting these techniques down, is that you're gonna be able to watch players online, and this is gonna start making sense, all right? Look for these exact movements, especially that drone slide and that 2nd slide I taught you there at the beginning. You're gonna see that all the time, connecting them together quickly, at like 120, 130 beats per minute. Like that is gonna be a fair chunk of, at least for me, what I see the players do online. And then you're like, okay, so that's how they're utilizing it, and that's what makes it sound cool when you can connect them all together, which comes with practice, of course. Another thing I get asked about is this app that I'm using. It's called Strum Machine. I'm not endorsed by this. This is not a pitch, but I really believe if you're wanting to get better, even starting, progressing your bluegrass playing, This is the ultimate practice tool. I won't get into a lot of detail, I'll save that for another video, but it's a massive catalog of basically backing tracks for bluegrass that you can customize with speed, taking instruments in and out. You can change the style. I have progressed so much using this app in the past couple years. I think it's $5 a month. I'd pay way more than that, honestly, because it's like having your own personal jam buddy. So check that out. Couple other things here, guys. If you haven't already joined Flatpick Foundations, if you struggle to put these lesson ideas together across YouTube, a big perk of what I offer, which is my beginner-friendly paid course, you can find more information right here. It just sticks all these ideas together, right? And even like the more that I understand and can create some lessons that connect the dots together, I'm gonna put them inside of there, all right? So if you go in there, most folks are in the lifetime access, you're going to get future lessons, which is great. I'm not gonna like shrink the program. It grows, and if you get in there, you're gonna get access to all of that, all right? So let me know what you thought of this lesson down in the comment sections. I'm trying to reach out to more music stores and places around the country, really actually more focused on the Southeast. I like to go in and create stories behind what they do, and it's a great fun for me, and it also helps out the business because of course they get the exposure here, and you folks at home get to go with us and see some amazing guitars like I put in the Gallagher video, which I'll link down below as well. So folks, drop a line, say hey down in the comment section. I always like hearing from you, and thanks again for everybody inside of the program. It's you that makes all of this possible. Folks, we'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.